The Waterville Dam, also known as the Walters Dam, we're being told by the Cott County mayor that it has suffered a catastrophic failure. This is serious for those living in the Newport area. There's a lot of offices, government officials, the jail, the courthouse, all right there along the river in downtown Newport. And they're asking anyone in that area to please evacuate and get to higher ground.
Experts are calling this a 1 in 1,000-year storm. Look at all this water. Drainage systems overwhelmed by the flood water. And this situation, I mean, look at this. Oh, wow, that water all the way up to the rooftops. They're saying this is expected to get worse.
2 hours will be underwater. Evacuate all downtown.
Okay, I'm scared.
In Cott County, they've rescued at least 50 people.
I expect a lot of people are in a lot of danger right now.
Rescues have been made, attempts have been made. Some people are stranded on the roofs of their homes and places like that.
We have team coverage for you tonight as those rivers continue to rise. Our Sam Luther and Evan Lasik, both in Cott County right now. Will Puckett in the WVLT newsroom.
Look at this scary, scary situation. Unicoi Hospital, folks there, you can hardly tell. You were saying it looks like a boat dock, but that is a hospital. 60 people, staff, patients, taken up to the hospital and rescued when a Knox County helicopter deployed to the area. We are now told that everybody is safe. Everyone has been evacuated from that area. But it is just really incredible to see that hospital that looks just like it's a couple feet off the ground, really just covered with water, with these folks nowhere to go.
They were worried that water was going to flood inside of their doors, ruining what potentially was life's work for a lot of people. And then in the middle of our conversation, we got that warning. People coming down with their sirens on, bullhorns, yelling as loud as they can to evacuate downtown Newport as quickly as possible. It was at that point people turned and really ran as fast as they could to their cars. They took that warning seriously, and many of them that we saw getting out of Newport in the downtown area in a hurry. A lot of people here at Cott County High School. This is where they've decided to make sort of command central, where crews are coming in and out of this parking lot. We just a few moments ago saw a helicopter even land and then take off just a few moments ago, really doing anything that they can to help right now.
And that is how high that water rose. The dump truck itself drove into there, and you could see it slowly start to just be consumed by the water as it was driving in. The Swift Water Rescue Team was all there monitoring the situation, making sure that everybody got out okay. But that's just how high and how much water that area had.
The jail annex is underwater. The police department's underwater. Everything on the railroad tracks is completely underwater.
It's a situation unlike ever seen in Cott County.
And you just probably heard there the helicopter took up over us there. You can see it there maybe in the background a little bit. We've had a lot of crews still pouring in and out of this parking lot. I mean, it's surreal to see the water go that high and to come into downtown Newport the way that it has. It's got to break your heart as someone who's called this place home for a long time.
It does. We on the small scale of things, we're worried about what can happen with our business and if it's even going to be a viable industry in Newport anymore. Most of the outposts in Hartford are completely underwater right now.
Spillway gates are open. Expect dangerous flow conditions downstream of both Waterville Walters Dam and the Walters Hydro Station. Casey, Britt, we are continuing to dive into more about Waterville Lake and the Waterville Dam. We're trying to learn everything we can about it.
Now, we are working on getting the very latest information from our crews in Cott County. It is important that they are also getting to safety, and as soon as we do have them in a safe spot, we are going to hear from them. But there are several shelters set up this afternoon for anyone who needs them. We're told that the Newport Community Center is open and the Liberty Church in Cosby is open as well. And I think that some of the schools are also opening up as a place for people to go as they are being evacuated here in Cott County.
I also was looking for that list right now. Is Jacob, that's who I was talking to right now, also giving us some information about TVA releasing any water. Jacob, do you know anything about those details there that you could share with us?
Yeah, I'll try to get in contact. I've talked with Derek Wynn before from the Tennessee Valley Authority, so from TVA, but he did post in our Weather Service chat that they're going to initiate spill at Douglas Dam and discharge about 42,000 CFS. So they're going to release quite a bit of water to kind of hopefully help bring that down and kind of mitigate some of the things that we are seeing currently with that dam failure there, that Waterville Dam, of course. So I will try to get in contact with them.
Look at how high that water is. And then behind it, you're seeing the actual river rushing. And that is what is so dangerous, is how quickly these waters can move, especially when a dam breaks. Now, a lot of this water coming from North Carolina, as they got a ton of rain today, and that is now moving downstream to East Tennessee. And this is what we are seeing. A Knox County rescue helicopter helped save dozens of people stuck on the roof of a hospital in Upper East Tennessee today. This is in Unicoi County. Authorities say 60 people were trapped because of major flooding. They were rescued by the helicopter in an operation that took hours.
Look at these totals, and some of these could be even higher than that. We just showed you Boone, North Carolina, what Main Street, King Street, you can walk up and down all the shops there in Boone. Look at that. Rain totals accumulated of maybe 14 to as much as 20 inches of rain over the last several days. So this is why we are seeing so many issues.
20 inches are expected to fall before the skies clear up. This is heartbreaking to see all of this water. The officials are worried about landslides in the city, especially because of the terrain there, the mountains.
Curtis Hance sent us this video. He lives above his downtown business that's currently being renovated. Now it's full of water, but he says it could be worse.
It made it to my back doorstep, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's about 30, 40 feet off the roadway.
Knox County and Knoxville both sending crews out now to Unicoi County and to Carter County, all now charged with making rescues on top of that hospital and for whatever the needs are right now in Carter County.
And we're also still keeping an eye on Cott County, as we have not even seen how high the rivers are going to get yet. We do want to get to our Kristen Allen, who's keeping an eye on the roads. Kristen, we've seen a lot of roads closed in the Cott County area because of the high waters.
Yeah, dozens of roads closed at this point. I'm just learning from North Carolina's Department of Transportation. They say to consider all western North Carolina roads to be closed unless you are trying to seek higher ground. At this point, we are seeing a ton of closures out there. Let's take a look at some of those. Right now, of course, I-40 in Cott County is shut down because of flood waters all the way into North Carolina due to mudslides, landslides there because of those flood waters.
There is a significant weather event that's happening in this area that people are evacuated, that we are seeing some of this.
And also the Army Corps of Engineers is who kind of oversees dams, across the entire country. Every dam is supposed to have an emergency action plan that's updated in case something happens to it.
Okay.
We actively in the newsroom are searching for that. Vandenberg told me he has seen it. It's a quote unquote relatively updated action plan.
Water continues to rise in Cott County. They say they expect water to rise several more feet throughout the area. So they are still asking everybody in that area to evacuate. If you're across or near the Pigeon River, they're saying that's not safe for you right now. So please seek areas that are safer. So that is the big message that they're trying to get out. Also in that area and in any area in East Tennessee, this pocket especially of Upper East Tennessee, to stay off of the roadways, because the mayor telling me just a moment ago, that's one of the major issues that they're facing right now, is that if people are out on the roadways, even if it's an inch or a few inches of water, that could create a very scary situation that we have seen over the past couple of days.
We were here actually in the middle of interviewing some people when first responders came tearing down Broadway Avenue here, really through the heart of downtown Newport, urgently asking people to get out and evacuate, saying that waters were coming quickly into this area and then that they were in danger. Businesses, homes, right in the risk of these waters tonight. People urgently getting out, fearful for their lives and others.
Water rushing into downtown Newport. Crews telling people to get to higher ground.
River levels are still continuing to rise, forecasted to crest right around 23 feet. Now, the record is 24 feet there on the French Broad River. Once again, this is in Cott County. So right now it's at 17.64. It's probably going to rise about another 6 to as much as 7 feet by the time it's all said and done. And that will crest into the early morning hours of our Saturday and then slowly begin to fall. Now, the Pigeon River, that is a bit of a different story. It's already beginning to get close to that crest stage, which could be in record territory. It is forecasted to be just under that record of 23.4 feet, and right now it is currently sitting at 22.58, so it's going to be very close, forecasted to crest as we head closer to midnight tonight.
Sam, let's start with you. You were in downtown Newport when the cars came through to alert you to get to higher ground.
Yeah, we were actually in the middle of an interview with somebody when you see first responders driving through downtown Newport with their lights on, their sirens on, and even just sort of like a bullhorn almost telling people to evacuate immediately, saying that downtown Newport would be underwater, and what they said hours ago would be in a number of hours. Right now, they're still seeing the effects right now of that water flooding over the river, over the railroad tracks and into downtown Newport, a place where the police department, sheriff's office, jail, and courthouse all sit right now. Those roads that you would usually walk or drive to go to those main points are now underwater right now. We were talking to business owners in that area earlier today who said that they didn't know what their life's work would look like in a number of days or even hours as the waters continue to rise and continued to flood the streets of downtown Newport. We know this is not the only area in Cotton County that's seeing this sort of impact and damage right now. We're here right outside of Cotton County High School, where it's sort of command central, if you will. County leaders getting together right now, getting on the same page. We're waiting for updates officially from them, as we've been seeing cars with boats coming in and out, even a helicopter landing in the parking lot of this high school, painting a picture really of the sense of urgency that right now is in downtown Newport. People desperately worried about their loved ones, some older people, specifically a gentleman telling us he has two people, his parents in their 80s, that are somewhere in the Newport area, worried that they're not going to get out in time. Crews right now making sure that they are able to get out in time. But just a little bit ago, we spoke with some people here in Newport. Here's what they had to say, seeing this all unfold with their own eyes.
It's really scary to see. It's devastating for this area. We're going to lose all of our public networking buildings, our courthouse, our police station. It's just, I've lived here my whole life and I've never seen it like this. I really don't know what to say. It's super scary.
In the 4 o'clock hour, we spoke with the river rafting folks. They were asked to bring in some of their resources and rafts. They have since been sent out to actually help people with rescues and just getting people out of that water, out of harm's way, into safety. It's important to note, guys, it hasn't rained here in a number of hours. It really goes to show the totality of what's happened over the last 36 hours here in East Tennessee. Right now, it's especially impacting Cotton County and this downtown Newport area.
All right, Sam, yeah, just a reminder, just because it's sunny, those evacuation orders are still in place for many of those areas in Newport. Sam, thanks so much. We also want to get to our Evan Lasik, who was also evacuated earlier today while in Cotton County. And Evan, you saw some people driving through some of the floodwaters even before the evacuation started, what officials always ask you not to do.
Yeah, well, Sam, I can tell you those dark clouds, they are rolling in right now here where we are. But we were out in Cotton County all throughout the day. We got there from 11:30. We were evacuated around 3:30. When we were at the church, they told us as they were coming out, people walking out, I walked in and they said, hey, you guys need to go, because if you're going to be here throughout the night, you are going to be here throughout the night, especially since it was so close to Pigeon River. But we were down along those rivers that you're seeing right now. Just look how deep that water actually was. You're seeing a car with water up to the roof right there. People going all around, just stopping, taking pictures, being waved on, saying, no, you guys need to get away from this because of how fast that water was moving, how deep that water was. And it was still going as we were still sitting there right around, that was around 2 o'clock this afternoon. There was nowhere really to drive. Every single turn I tried to make, there was flooded. It was ponding everywhere, houses being engulfed in all of that water, and people that I actually spoke to along Pigeon River saying they had to help people yesterday who were trying to drive through water, helping them get out of their truck, making sure that they were okay.
Yesterday it started off raining really heavily, and we had to pull somebody out yesterday. A car got stuck in the rain. But I don't know, they had to take a raft this morning and get family members from the trailers down there. Apparently it's flooded over the interstate and everything. It's terrible.
Yeah, that was from this past afternoon. So as we know, that water has continued to rise and is projected to continue rising, especially, we're actually getting a little rain right now. I just felt a couple drops, so it is going to be starting here again very shortly. But that rain is going to be happening again with some of these areas, and there is still a flash flood warning in effect in Cotton County, especially if you are living right along Pigeon River, because as you saw in those videos, that water is no joke. It is going to continue getting worse, especially if more rain continues to happen. So definitely listen to that flash flood warning. If you are near that area, try to get out of that area because it could get bad.
All right, Evan, thank you so much. And we also want to get to our Will Puckett, who's in the WVLT newsroom. Will, this is having major impacts on I-40, parts of it closed this evening.
Yeah, Kristen Allen's going to talk to the Tennessee side, but we want to alert everyone to a major occurrence that's happened on the North Carolina side of Interstate 40. Interstate 40, according to the North Carolina Department of Transportation, is closed from the state line to mile marker 4. There are pictures floating around on social media of the Interstate 40 just completely washing out, but this is from a conversation earlier with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. They say from the Tennessee border to mile marker 4 is shut down in both directions. They say that's because of several compromised elements. They echo what we've heard from Mark Nagy at TDOT all day. Simply do not travel. If you have to get on Interstate 40, you will not be able to get from East Tennessee to Asheville if you plan to travel Interstate 40. They also tell us they're currently working to try to move resources around. This has been a very wide breaching and wide set event for North Carolina. So now they're trying to get people from lesser impacted eastern regions over to the western regions of North Carolina to try and get an idea of what's going to have to be used resource wise on Interstate 40. Casey, they tell us there have been rumors floating out there about how long that is going to take. They say they're not going to get the brunt of their resources to those portions of Interstate 40 until tomorrow, but most likely it'll be Sunday by the time folks in North Carolina get to that portion of Interstate 40 in between the North Carolina state line and mile marker 4 in North Carolina. We have asked them if a portion of the interstate is washed away in the eastbound lanes. They told us today on 2 separate occasions it has. We're working to get videos and images of that. But Casey, they say something that we know very well about that portion of Interstate 40. North Carolina Department of Transportation having trouble contacting their people because there's limited to no cell service, and even their radios are having a bit of issues.
Yeah, that does add to the complications there. And just a reminder not to drive through standing water because you don't know if the road is still underneath it, even on the interstate. Will, thank you. And we do want to get to First Alert meteorologist Spencer Denton. This is what we have been first alerting you to all week. Helene causing some trouble today with the flooding.
Yeah, that flooding, the main issue, and it was all because of all this rain that fell over the past few days, especially from Sevier County into Cott County and points northeast. That's where we picked up 8 to 10 inches of rain estimated by the radar. There are some areas that probably saw even more than that. So much runoff into those rivers, just causing us major issues. And the flood warnings, these are river flood warnings now that continue really around Newport and then even down toward Gatlinburg. Again, those rivers are high. From what I'm hearing, Gatlinburg to Pigeon Forge okay right now as far as the roads are concerned, but the rivers are all very, very high in that area. So we'll keep you posted. First Alert Weather Day continues because of those high rivers. And of course, right now the Pigeon River is going to crest later tonight into early tomorrow morning. So be aware of that. We're trying to get a break from the rain, but look what's coming our way. There's some showers coming out of northeast Alabama. I think we're going to get some more of these downpours off and on as we go through the evening hours. So I bumped up those rain chances a little bit to about 40%. And you could even see some heavier downpours at times, not only tonight, but into tomorrow. I'll have your first alert to the hour-by-hour rain chances this weekend, how much more we could see, and when that sunshine is finally going to pop out. That's coming up in the 8-day planner.
A lot of us looking forward to that, Spencer. Thank you. And we also want to get a look at your First Alert traffic this evening. There are dozens of roads that are closed because of flooding. Some are washed out. Kristen, what do you know?
Yeah, Casey, a lot of these roads just completely shut down for right now. Mark Nagy of TweetDot tweeted out this map. I wanted to go over that quickly with you. These are just some interstates that are impacted across East Tennessee. Cott County at I-40, of course, the big one that we're really concerned about. Closed on that eastbound side and westbound side down to the North Carolina line and beyond. Get this, NCDOT says, this is North Carolina's Department of Transportation. They say all roads in western North Carolina need to be considered as closed. Do not get out on them at all for any reason. We're also seeing closures over in Unicoi County.
Until that water comes back on. we're preparing for this to be an extended outage for water.
Days after Helene, communities continuing to recover.
It's something that I didn't think would ever happen. Who thought Greene County would be flooded like this?
Across East Tennessee, neighbors helping neighbors.
On the other side, it's very heartwarming to see the love that Tennesseans have for one another.
Through a long road ahead.
We are going to come out of this stronger than we ever were before.
Thanks for being with us tonight for WVLT News at 6. I'm Brittany Tarwater. Historic flooding taking a toll on several parts of East Tennessee. Crews are still looking for those unaccounted for. Some areas of East Tennessee don't have clean drinking water. We have team coverage for you tonight, keeping you and your family safe and informed. Our crews are all across East Tennessee, but we want to get straight to our Casey Wheelis, who is in Newport tonight. Casey, one of the hardest hit areas. You've been talking to people who are devastated by this storm. You have seen it firsthand. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Brittany, there's so much devastation here, but there's also a lot of hope. I want to show you behind me some of the most noticeable devastation that we've seen here. This is just along the river here in downtown Newport. You're seeing this apartment building. It looks like the whole side of it has come down. It's about to crash down. It looks like at any moment. Then you see all the debris from the river and how fast it was flowing. At one point, they tell me there was a pergola gazebo type situation behind me, and that is now completely gone. And we're seeing a lot of images like this throughout East Tennessee and western North Carolina tonight. And we were around Newport today. It was raining a lot last night and this morning, but today they have been able to get some sunshine to try to clean and clear out. We've seen a lot of power washers going, all kinds of vents and fans just trying to clean up because of that flooding. We're told in some places the flood waters were up several feet up above people's knees, and that is just devastating for these businesses inside here in Newport. So when you drive down Newport, you see a lot of mud. You don't necessarily see all the damage until you go inside some of these businesses and you see just what that water did. There's a lot of mud. We went through the Newport Police Department today, and that first floor, everything is pretty much ruined there. Now, unfortunately, there were 2 deaths here in Cocke County. They do tell us tonight that the shelters are now closed. Everyone is accounted for. I do want to bring in our Sam Luther, and you actually spoke to family members of the 2 people who died. What can you tell us?
Yes, some family friends of Mike and Jean Obrist. It's a couple that's in their late 70s, early 80s. They tell me they were the nicest people you'd ever meet. People that lived off their own land, really kept to themselves. They just sort of described that chaotic Friday where sheriff's deputies coming by, knocking on doors, telling people to evacuate for one reason or another. They decided to stick it out, trying at the last second to get out by their cars, unable to make it out in time. Their family was also there at the time. Obviously, just a terrible, tragic scene, obviously. But by all accounts, 2 of the sweetest people you'd ever meet, from Alaska originally, moving here to East Tennessee decades ago. But just those folks right now, people that knew those people, just past Parrottsville, really, in some of the more rural parts of Cocke County, just devastated tonight.
That is devastating news that those 2 people did die, and we're hearing of more deaths happening throughout East Tennessee. Sam, thank you for that information. And we also are hearing of more people unaccounted for in Unicoi County, in Washington County as well, in Upper East Tennessee, as loved ones are now hoping to hear from their family members. We do want to get to our Jared Austin, who is there tonight.
It's a day many people in Unicoi County will never forget. This entire area flooded by the Nolichucky River, but one community, this Baptist church right here, picking up the pieces and looking for any blessing they can find. Piece by piece, the Riverview Baptist Church community helping clean up damage left behind from Helene.
We thought the building was going to go at any minute.
Jeff Simmons, a deacon at the church, staying positive after flooding ripped off a chunk of the building and flooded the inside.
People have to take care of one another, and I'm sorry.
It's an emotional scene for hundreds of people here, some unable to get basic necessities at times.
It's just the access to drinking water, power, being able to talk to people, let them know that you're okay.
People needing to leave their homes, fearing they could get caught in the floodwaters. This includes a mother and her daughter.
Just imagine a mother and daughter and frantic, a situation. I just try to be as strong and fast as possible.
But help is here for Unicoi County.
We need 2 more.
A church providing meals for hundreds of those living here and first responders.
We know Christ told us to love our brothers and to take care of them if we see they have a need, and we don't
show them love and compassion, then we're not being Christ-like.
They're not only providing food, but a message to those living here.
People care, they love you, and they want to be there for you and help you.
The deacon we spoke with saying a lot of people have already come out to offer help for cleanup. But as for this church, they said it will come back, but the church is all about the people and not just a building. In Unicoi County, Jared Austin, WVLT News.
Jared, thanks. And here in Newport and Greene counties, the main concern tonight is the water supply. There is no water for the people who live in these counties, and that is something that authorities are working feverishly to fix. And in Greene County, the water plant there is damaged. People living there without power, without water, and there is no timeline for that. We do want to get to our Kristen Allen, who has been in Greene County all day today talking to people. And Kristen, at one point, there was a line wrapped around the building for where they were distributing that water.
Yeah, Casey, I'm here at Trinity United Methodist Church in Greenville, and yeah, as you said, right when we got here, people were wrapped around this building waiting to get in to get supplies, everything from water, from buckets, from clothing, cleaning supplies, you name it. They pretty much had it here at Trinity United Methodist Church. And I also spoke to several of those people who were here getting help. They tell me that the lack of water just makes taking care of their families that much harder, as you can imagine. At this point, many roads here in Greene County are impassable. The video you just saw from Allen's Bridge Road, the bridge there compromised. Crews working to get that area around it cleaned up. Now, while that cleanup is happening, people at Trinity United Methodist are coming together to help each other. Many of the people here volunteering needing that help themselves. Volunteers tell me it's all about staying positive and hoping that water returns soon.
This has never happened in the 47 years I was born and bred here. We've never had issues with the rivers and the bridges in this. So,
at my house, the water doesn't work. Here at the church, the water doesn't work. So as far as we know, we're going to be without water for several days, but we don't know beyond that.
Now, the last few people are here at the church right now, kind of wrapping up for the day. Several volunteers still remain inside here at Trinity United Methodist. They tell me they plan to be here as long as that need is there. So if you want to come and get some bottled water, jugs of water, anything you may need, clothing, food, they have it here. It's at Trinity United Methodist Church on Tusculum Boulevard here in Greenville. Now, the church tells me, again, they plan to be here as long as they're needed. And I will tell you, there is a lot of devastation here in Greene County. We were driving around. It seemed like every time you got to a roadway or an intersection, it was blocked, there was damage. But people tell me they're hopeful that they're going to get through this and they will get running water again soon, Casey. That's really what they're hoping for right now, is to get things back to normal as much as they can.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing we're seeing here in Newport. Kristen, thank you. So many of you have reached out asking how you can help, and the biggest thing they need right now is they need water. So if you do live in Knox County, you can drop off cases or gallons of water at the Engineering and Public Works building. That's on West Baxter Avenue. They're also asking for hygiene products and diapers. Those are also needed.
The importance of helping those in need is they're our neighbors and friends. And we here in Knox County, we have the resource to be able to do that.
Yeah, and they hope to make a delivery here to Cott County on Wednesday. However, they will wait until they have enough supplies to do so. We've also got a list in our WVLT News app of all the places that you can donate. Brittany, the biggest thing we're hearing is water and money. A lot of people want to know how they can donate clothes, things like that. Right now, that's not needed because a lot of these people who are displaced from their homes, they don't have a place for any of that.
Oh, that certainly is right, and can't reiterate that enough. We do have that list inside your WVLT News app that can take you exactly where you want to go for those donations. Just scan that QR code and it will take you straight to the Salvation Army's website. You know, it's easy to get scammed when there's a disaster effort, so we don't want that.
At one of the centers where people can drive through to pick up water right now, I'm joined with this woman here that said that she's driving through to pick up water, and you just told me right now at your home you also have no water right now.
I do not have water at home. I haven't had any since this rain come down. But anyway, I am so blessed to be living because it's took a lot of people's lives. Yeah.
And now, you know, we were with Newport Utilities today, and they said it could be several weeks until the water's restored. What are your concerns going into the next couple days and weeks?
That is a long time to have to do without water. You just have to make several trips up here and depend on the good people.